With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
In this question, we are asked that accompanying diagram shows the changes that take place in the endometrium during a normal menstrual cycle. Identify the changes and select the correct option. Right, so basically endometrium is basically the innermost lining, right? It is the innermost lining of the uterus, right? It is the innermost lining of the uterus. So during the proliferative phase of the menstrual cycle, this lining becomes thick, right? But during the menstrual phase, right, this lining sheds if the fertilization do not take place, right? So here we are given some of the events where we are basically asked the first event, right? So the first event, that is A, is basically we are given the graph as per the days, right? The increasing thickness of the endometrium. So we can say that in the starting, the thickness of the endometrium is basically the endometrium is very thick in the starting, but its thickness starts decreasing, right? So basically here the A is, it basically represents, so the first starting 1 to 5 days during which the thickness of the lining of the endometrium decreases, right? Basically during this phase the endometrial lining of the uterus, it degenerates and sheds off. So this is the menstruation phase, right? It is the menstruation phase when the menstruation occurs, right? Then at the B phase, right, during the B phase, basically what happens is that once the menstruation has occurred in the first 5 days, right, the innermost lining of the uterus has completely shed off, then what happens is that the endometrium or the endometrial lining of the uterus starts proliferating again. So starting from day 6, the proliferation again starts, right? Proliferation of the endometrium basically starts again, right? Then so we can say that during the proliferation of the endometrial lining, the thickness increases, right? It is increasing, right? And on the day 14th, right, on the day 14th, ovulation occurs, right? Ovulation basically occurs on the 14th day of the normal menstrual cycle, when the release of ovum takes place from the ovary, right? And once the ovulation has taken place, right, then what happens is that once the ovulation has taken place, so the endometrial lining of the uterus, its thickness increases more and more, because once the ovum has released, so the uterus will start preparing itself for the implantation of the baby, right? So for the implantation of the baby or the embryo, the endometrial lining has to be very thick, right? So we can say that during the 21 or the 20, from the 20 to 28 days, the inner lining of the uterus is again very thick. So if the fertilization do not occur, then again it sheds, which leads to the menstruation. So the event A is basically the menstruation, whereas C is basically represents the ovulation, right? So this is what is correctly stated to us under option 3. So we can say that this is the correct answer here, right?
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.